Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Raveen, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind. Well, in the last week's episode, we managed to find ourselves in another lengthy life update again. I'm not sure how we did that, but of course, we talked about comparing Malaysia and UK weather, and of course, Vereen's daily life while she counted down towards her final days in Malaysia. So right now in this episode, we're gonna start the main topic: how to overcome easy to say but hard to do. Please enjoy. Before we go on too long, let's talk about today's topic. So today we are talking about something. Oh shit! I just realized that we haven't got our main idea of the topic written down, but of course I believe we know what is the main idea from the title. So basically in life there is many things that is always easy to say. So when you advise people, even me, let's just say me, when I do YouTube videos and all this, I give advice, something like that, experience and all that. Most of them, it's of course easy to say, easy to talk about, easy to advise people and all this kind of stuff. But it is hard for us to do, to actually, make an action on it. So how should we overcome this whereby it's easy to say, but hard to do? If you get what I mean, like we shouldn't just be someone who just keeps saying, you wouldn't like those person as well, keep saying that how easy all this stuff is, how you should do it, but he never does anything, you like, I believe many people hate all those kind of people. So how can we avoid this? Yeah, because like generally, of course, we want to advise people. You wouldn't just don't advise because you think you might not do it, but so. Instead of like avoiding things, we're still gonna talk about this thing, and we're just gonna give advice. We're gonna say that we're gonna do it, but the thing is, how do we overcome the hard to do part? So how are we still gonna do it? Okay, so I'm gonna pass it on to you while I go and take some stuff. I'm still listening, but I'll be back here in the wow. Just say whatever you want to say.
Okay, so actually before that, I quickly read up a bit of stuff and I found an idea which I think it's quite interesting. So it says, because we were taught on theories but not on actions. So most of the time, it's very easy for us to say, because since young we were taught on all those theory, we can think about it. It's easy to make sense and talk about it. But when it comes to really do it, we were not like trained or what. So it's hard. It's just hard.
Okay. I quite agree that. I don't know.
Right?
It kind of gave me some thought. I don't know. I thought of something that I really want to share about this theory practical thing. We are taught kind of the wrong way, but I can't think of it right now. But it is very true because I guess in recent years as well, there's a lot of ideas and talks about these things whereby education shouldn't be just in theory. It should be a lot more practical and and there are many things. That's why I think apprenticeship is it? That's what they call it. It's quite popular right now as well.
Yes.
Because just even though someone might come out of a university with a master degree and all that, it's cool that they got a first class, but it doesn't prove that they are able to do things well. Yeah, you can easily try to find the answer for the question, but that might be just the answer for the question. But when we ask you to do things which are similar to that, you might not know how to do it because you just know a very specific, or in this, I guess we can, I can use a kind of a machine learning example. I hope it wouldn't complicate this whole thing. So in machine learning, we have this problem whereby you need to train a machine to do a task. But then, of course, maybe let's say we try to train a machine to pick up an apple, so from a bunch of fruits. So of course we feed it with a bunch of different apple images to recognize which one is the apple and then pick it up. But you wouldn't want to feed that machine with too much images which are the same, because in that end it will just pick up that specific apple that looks very, very like that picture, but not all the other apples, which looks a bit different, because obviously it's like from nature, things can change and all that. So like in this case, if we actually just, we teach based on theory and something like that, it's kind of like just feeding people things that, okay, so this is the way, like this picture is the apple. And then they think that this is the apple. And this is the problem with machine learning. So that's why we need to feed them with a diverse of picture, and even sometimes feed wrong pictures to them to kind of make them actually try to think themselves like, oh, so this actually apple? Because it's only through this way you kind of need to explore all these right or wrong things that you kind of explore. Okay, so answering this way isn't always the right thing. There is a lot of other factors that we need to look about, that we need to look into, so that I can make a more generalized approach for this question. And that is, I think that's the more important thing that we need to teach our children through education. Like, we don't just say that this is right, but we sometimes need to say that all these things are right, but it might be suitable for some conditions, something like that. And sometimes it's up to them to kind of figure out themselves as well, kind of just hit the wall eventually, realize, okay, so in cases like this, shouldn't use this, something like that. And that is the thing which is what we need in the real world, because obviously things changes all the time, and you can't have just one single ultimate approach to everything. You need to always tweak your approach based on whatever you think. I hope that doesn't complicate things too much. Do you get what I say just now?
Yeah, I do get it. And I can actually relate it to my own experience ever since I've started working, because I thought I know something after my 3 years of degree in psychology.
Yeah.
Like I thought I at least know a bit, I know it's like very general and just a very surface one, but I thought I at least know a bit. But when I started working, I'm like, wait, did I really study anything over the past few years?
I'm a kid in this work, I don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But actually, okay, let's just say about medication. In the past, I can never remember those medication name and how does it work and everything. But because now I'm directly applying the knowledge into my work, it's different. I just pick it up very quickly, and everything just suddenly makes sense to me. And I'm not memorizing them. I just understand. I'm just able to understand them.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. I get what you mean.
When it comes to application, yeah.
I guess this kind of applies the same thing I'll still take another computer science reference. So, because in one of the podcasts which I listened from Not Overthinking podcast, Ali talked about what is the best way to learn coding. Coding is kind of essential skills and all this. And many people kind of just, we gotta learn the fundamentals. We gotta learn how to print hello world, like what are the basics keywords, something like that. So I kind of go through basics. Like, it's kind of like learning a language. You need to know how it pronounced, something like that. Like, people think that is kind of the right way. Like, this is a theory way, you learn the basics, you learn the phonics, you learn consonants, all that kind of stuff, you learn the grammar and something like that. But actually, it might not be the right way, the best way to learn things, even when we talk about actually language. So, Ali said that, the best way to actually learn a programming language is actually to find a project which you're interested in. It's okay. You can totally know nothing about it. Of course, don't think about making a whole new AI app that you want to publish on Google Play Store. That's a bit too much. Like, think of a basic or intermediate project. But you don't need to know anything about it. Just the most important thing you need to have is you need to just learn along the way. Just try to find ways, search on Google, ask on forums or something, like, how do I get to the point where I can produce something to create this project. It's through this way because there is this one main thing which is pushing you, is your passion and interest. You're interested in this thing, and then you have the passion for it that keeps pushing you forward. So even though you don't totally nothing about it, But because of this interest, you have a goal that you want to achieve, and every time maybe you learn something from the forum, it pushes you forward a bit. You're like, oh, I actually produce something. It's cool. Instead of you learning theory, like, okay, so what is data frame for? But I was like, okay, so yeah, I know what is data frame for, but I don't really use it. Like like maybe the next day you even forgot what's the term, how to use it, something like that. You probably have to search it again online. But with this interest, you can just keep doing it. Of course, you wouldn't know the fundamentals. The project that you made might be crappy, but at least it works, and it's true. At least you have this interest. You applied it in in a real life experience, so you actually know how to use it. And I believe even actually in language, this is the better way. Like, you think of what cases that you want to learn. I think even in Duolingo, that's what they do. Of course, they teach you a few simple terms like "are you, we, they," and then they talk about how are you, something like all these terms that you actually know how to use. So you first learn those because those are actionable. You know how to use them. Then only when it gets a bit complex, then maybe they teach you a bit about grammar, because it's important for you to understand that to step into grammar. But I guess the main thing is like, this interesting, kind of push it forward. It's more like how to apply it, how to put it into good use, that makes this learning thing a lot easier, I guess.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it actually reminded me when I was in high school, because I took account as well as one of my subjects. So during the Form 4 period, it's all about those theory. I mean, you still need to do some calculation, but everything is based like just very theory based, and it just doesn't really make sense to me. But so I didn't get a very good marks. But when it comes to like Form 5, everything is like application.
Okay.
I mean, you apply those theory into those questions and solve those. Suddenly, I can understand everything that doesn't make sense to me in the past. Okay, now maybe I know what's the best way for me to learn.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, interesting thing about learning is that, theory doesn't work out. It's like usually, we kind of need to apply to something that is useful or best interested, that we're interested in. But yes, like going back to our topic. So we talk about how to overcome, easy to say, hard to do. So of course it's very easy to say, theory and all this. But yes, hard to do part.
I think for what we were both trying to discuss is like maybe just find something that you can just go and try on, and you just go and try. I mean, you might fail for a few times, but if you don't try at all, you can't really do it.
Okay. Yep. So basically, we try to overcome this like fear of failure barrier, something like that. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say if we go, because like, not just, sometimes it's just not just for us, we say that we're going to do things and then we don't do it. But sometimes we advise to others as well. We advise people, this is the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
So
those life advices.
Yes. What about that? Obviously it's terrible. Like, you said, definitely, definitely you shouldn't get a boyfriend, and then turn out the next day that you have a boyfriend. Of course, that this is actually not the best example for this. This have a lot of other reasons, but of course we just wouldn't want to give an advice and then act opposite to the advice that we gave. So, how do we do that? What do you think?
This is a hard question.
Right? Hard question, right? Because I don't know, like I can, but let me think of my experiences. I mean, because sometimes I guess I do say all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like, things are good. Some advice are good. It's not, when you're saying it to your friend, it's not exactly just saying it to them. You are saying it kind of to yourself as well. It's because you want to do it, but then you know it's a good thing. You think it's a good thing, just you never action it. But then they kind of face the similar thing, so that's why you told them, but just that you haven't done it, something like that. So I guess for me, at least in those cases, it's either I'm procrastinating, fear of failure, all this kind of stuff, imposter syndrome, that I didn't get to start doing all this kind of stuff. But I don't mean harm when I'm doing that. It's genuinely like, what I've studied, what I've researched. I'm like, this thing which I found is really interesting. I guess it'll be beneficial for you. Whether I've tried it, no, never. I haven't started even on this thing, but still, I think I should. We should do it. But I guess just now when I think of it, since you are not just talking to your friend, you're talking to yourself. Like it's an advice for both your friend and you yourself. I think one of the best way might be actually to maybe do it together, even though of course it depends on the passion of both person. No, it's best to do this thing together. And actually, to be honest, this made me think of something, because actually many years ago, not just maybe 2 years ago, I thought this, but I never told you about it. I guess I don't know. I guess I always forget. Yeah, so maybe you can make an announcement here right now. So I don't know, because like definitely all of us, I believe even you, there are things which you want to do, and then you don't dare to do something like that. Like let's say it's like, okay, easy, like, okay, this is exactly the example of easy to say, hard to do. So right now I can say that, if I see Ali Abdal, I would want to walk up to him and ask him to invite him to our podcast, ask whether he want to. But when it actually happens, sometimes you question yourself. You'll be like, let's not do it. Too many people over there. I'm gonna make a shame of myself. So definitely, this is like easiest to say, how to do. You say it's easy, but then when you're actually doing it, like in front of you, you wouldn't want to do it. Thousands of reasons just pop up. So I guess one of the things that both of us can do, because we know each other quite well, and of course, I believe you have things like this in your mind as well, where you thought of it, I'm gonna do it, but then when the real the scenario comes in, you just wouldn't action on it. So I guess one of the best thing we can do is like, basically we know that we both have this thing, but so we're gonna talk to each other about this thing that we actually want to do, and in cases where it actually happens, the other party will act as the force to kind of push that person to do it. Like, remember, do this. Like, of course, now you might be ashamed of something, but then you should do it, because if you don't do it, definitely you probably won't do it in your life or something like that. So that's why you should definitely do it. Just, go try, or let's go there together. We just go approach it and see how it goes. Maybe it goes well, it should be fine. Something like that. So I think this is one of the best way to overcome easy to say, how to do. Of course, it's kind of like the thing where I talk about do it together with your friend, but friend, is just a bit unpredictable, because it depends on friend,
Yes.
At least for partner, for most partners, each other quite well, you have the same goals, it's for the better of the other party. So why wouldn't you want to do that, isn't it?
And then most of the time, like for partners, you might have a common goal at the end of the day. So it's easier for you to like remember what did the person say that he or she want to do. Yeah, but like for friends, sometimes you just, people are generally selfish. We care more about ourselves. Yeah, so you might just forget.
Okay.
But I do think that it is a good idea that you ask someone to like kind of like monitor you.
We should do that together, right?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I'm actually just expecting a yes. Even if you say no, I'm definitely gonna convince you all the way to do this. So but we'll see when you're here in the UK, and we'll talk about the things that we actually want to do and all this. It happens, reminds us of that, and then we're just gonna push each other to do that. I think it's a good thing. But I think this just kind of say that I guess it's sometimes we just need a force, I believe. A force or like some support during, because easy to say, hard to do. Things when things happen, it's hard to do. Sometimes I guess we just need like some push, some support. So best way, definitely family, friends, partners, or I'm not sure if reward would be a good thing. I guess reward can be a thing, but then I guess it's hard to set the reward thing, because sometimes easy to say, how to do, it's like personal level. So definitely you don't have a person 24/7 monitoring you saying that, okay, well done, you have achieved this, you can now get a reward. It's more like you self-monitor, something like that. So it's a bit, I guess for me, it's a bit hard, because that reward, you can get it anytime you want. You can cheat, you can cheat and get that. So it's a bit hard. You can say, or you can even say, no, it's fine, I don't need that, something like that. So I guess I don't know. It's more like the emotional parts that can make this work. It's unlike doing things on your to-do list where you just reward would make things work. But this one is more more like you need to go down to deep into emotion and support you. You really want to do this. Let's just try this time. If we fail, it's fine. If you think about what happens if you succeed in this, it's gonna be 1,000 times better. Your life's gonna be a lot greater. So I guess that is a good thing to push people into doing things.
Yeah, but it just let me thought of one thing. Maybe sometimes like it's easy to say but hard to do because we actually don't care that much about that thing. We can't or cannot really convince ourselves to go all out for that. So we find thousands of excuses to excuse ourselves from doing that. What do you think?
But I don't know, man. Like if it's okay, I do understand. Like some things does happen like that. It does some things. I mean, I wouldn't. This one thing which I realized after all this while is that, I think false promises to yourself is fine. Of course, it's okay with others as well, with friends and something. But then friends, I don't think strangers you should do that. I think it's important to be nice, but like making false promises, sometimes it's social need or something like that. You joke about it, but we should it's okay to make false promises. So you can say and then not do, but we try to avoid that. But to ourselves, I can understand that, if we allow too much of false promises, it will be bad because most of the time, if we talk to ourselves, definitely there's no social scenarios where we just want to make everyone feel comfortable. Yes. So that doesn't get included. So when you actually say something to yourself, you tell something, you do something, to tell yourself to do something, it's usually for the good of yourself. Yeah, for the better of your own. Yeah, so in that case, I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. Why not? I remember there was some way of measuring how important it is. Yeah. But I guess there is no true way of measuring it. Like, of course, there's no one ultimate way, even though I can't even think of the way which I was gonna say, but there's definitely no ultimate way of making sure how much you should do this. But the important thing is that if this thing is good for you in some way, healthy and good, and then you like it, definitely you should push yourself to do it. Because I realized that there is no benefit in thinking too long term into the future. Yeah. Yes. Because shit changes, Not just you change, everything changes. So if I think thinking 1 year in advance is already good enough. Yeah. But of course, like, consistency is good. So that's another topic for another day. But sometimes when we think about all this stuff, it's more important to make sure that you like what you're actually doing, and then it's actually providing it's actually good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and wait, just now I wanted to say one thing. Oh yeah, and why I just found a reason, like, why is it very easy for us to say? Because by just thinking about it and just talking about it, it makes us feel good.
Okay, I like this. That's why many people talk about this in front of others. Something like that.
Yes, and if we give ourselves so many like false promises and keep talking about it, then you keep thinking about all this, you just feel good about it, then you don't have that urge to do it because you already feel good, right?
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah, and maybe one of the way that can make us at least take the first step is by writing it down, because you take that effort to write it down first, then it might gives you like a bit more time to think about it and like slowly think about what you should do if you really want to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I really like that. Yeah. That is very true. Yeah, because you kind of make it into something actionable, not actionable, but at least you put in some effort into it. You put it down. You're gonna
Yeah.
see it there. It's not gonna
You
be a
kind
blank
of
thought,
like
which is like
change it.
it's
Yeah.
like if you just think about it, you'll be gone in a minute. You're just gonna forget it for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. But you write it down. Better if it'll be better if you put it somewhere you can see it. It's good. Just like ideas,
yeah.
everything. That's why I always write that down. But yeah, okay, I totally agree that that's an amazing idea. So yes, yeah, I think we should definitely
Yeah.
do that to keep ourselves. But yeah, false promises. I do like your what you said about just making ourselves feel better. I thought of doing this. I'm good enough. I don't need to actually like doing it is another thing. But at least I thought about it. So yeah, no false promises to ourselves. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and the idea of like writing down is because I because people, I think people, I mean no, like human are biological engineered as being lazy. We try to find as efficient way as possible to do every single thing.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
agree.
so if we take the first action to write it down, it's already a bit troublesome for us. Then we tend to continue.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like starting. So you kind of, if you can't go through the thing about starting, then it's fine. Like yesterday, I was thinking the same thing as well, because yesterday was a busy day for me. Did all the household chores, so it's quite late when I'm done it, and then I'm thinking like, should I just watch a movie to enjoy? Because I do know that I want to apply those jobs. I wouldn't want to, because job like all this job posting is going to increase day by day. If I can do it today, definitely. So after I've done that, I was like, 1 hour left. Like, never mind. Let's just try editing video. It's quite a huge thing for me. I was like, oh my god, editing video, I have to go through all this shit again. But then after a while, it's like, it's actually quite fun. I think this is the 5-minute rule that Ali talked about. So yeah, if you do like, if you don't feel like doing something, try to push yourself to just do it for 5 minutes. Like usually when you've done it for 5 minutes, you're already in the zone. You kind of get a hang of it. It's like, yeah, it's actually not that hard, just that you're lazy. You kind of got over your laziness. Like, It's like another thing is like, it's kind of like surfing. When initially when you try to get started, you're trying to get to the wave part. That is the hardest. But once you're there, it's cool. Like even when I'm running, starting is always hard. Like the first few minutes, like especially that is kind of challenging in the UK, because it's kind of cold, and then your body is kind of just warming up. So like probably the first 10 minutes is hard, but after the first 10 minutes, you feel like even though you stop or something, you feel like you can easily get up to speed. You can like easily just push yourself through another km and another km. It's like, it's just so damn easy, man. Like, yeah, it's always the beginning that's hard, but after that, like, it's not that tough. Yeah, you just need to convince yourself to do it.
Yeah, true. But I do think that there are some external factors that we might still need to consider. Like sometimes it's easy for us to give life advices to others, and we say, if let's say we did have that experience, okay, it's good because we are not just saying something empty out of like nowhere. But most of the time we tend to generalize our own experience towards someone else. We might say, it's very easy, I did it. But maybe it's not the same case for that person. There's a lot more other stuff that is affecting that person at that point. That it's just not that easy to follow what you advise.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of goes back to the theory thing, lah. While theory works for you, like I mean, no, okay, not the right way, but so your theory works for you because your theory is based on you yourself following maybe a bunch of other theories and then exploring new ways, kind of combining them into a new thing. But the thing is, of course, it applies in your own way in whatever you have done, but it doesn't mean that you apply in other people's, because their path is totally different. That's why it's like important. Like just like I think I talk about when I went to like Startup Weekend or something, went through a bunch of mentors. Everyone give their own opinion. Your idea might be the best idea from one of the mentors, and then it's gonna be downright shit, going into the garbage kind of idea for another one. It's just literally up to you to kind of decide, like think about like, okay, so like this it's of course, like people just think about different things. You just have to make, in the end, it's up to you to think whether like, okay, this is the right thing. You have to put everything into consideration. But that's why the most important thing is like actually, make your mind to like think. That is the most essential thing. Many people nowadays, they just try to get things off online, and then like, oh, that's the thing. Yeah. But even when I try to do research online, I usually default to like at least three of the results from Google, and then I'll process from here. Like, okay, so from this three, it says this thing. Okay, I can kind of average that to be one of the best things that regarding to the question that I've asked, and then I'll explore further on with myself. Yeah.
Wow, critical thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. Like people nowadays are really,
Yeah,
really.
true.
I'm gonna make a video about it as well. Like why we should think more. Like even YouTube, like YouTube, we should prevent the what's that thing, suggested video, something like that. You know, they think you like that because it just prohibits our thinking. It keeps you in your own comfort zone. You keep watching the same thing. Yeah, you should you should think about what you want to watch. You go and search it, and then you find it. Or even Netflix, I think they have like feeling lucky button right now. They're just gonna just randomly suggest something for you. It's not gonna like Facebook. I hate that they keep, especially Instagram. Now they keep making suggestion posts and something like that. I really hate that. Like, go away, man. I know what I want to watch.
Also.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. I don't like the suggested posts also.
Yeah, so I'm glad that many like you and many of my friends don't like that as well. So yeah, we should. The most important thing is that we should actively think about what we actually want. We know better, and not exactly. Okay, probably they know better about you, but you know better on where you want to be, where you want to go. So that is what you are thinking into the future, and they are just holding you back into now. So that's why we need to think and all this. So yes, how did we get here? Thinking.
Because I say don't generalize your own experience.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I guess that's it, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how to overcome? Easy to say, hard to do. So easy to say, easy to say, like saying to others is fine. Don't generalize it though. But especially, like it's okay to talk to others about things you haven't done or something like that. Yeah, but of course, it's best you can do it as well. That would be better. But if you say it to yourself, it's important to not make false promises. You say to it's better to do it. Find ways to make you to do it. Either through reward, even though that's not that efficient. But I think support and all that makes a lot more difference. Support, trust, doing it with someone else that makes a lot of difference. And yeah, I guess that is it then, isn't it? Anything else?
I think there's one point that I made that you can try to like take the first step to write things down and put it somewhere. Yeah, just because you started the very first little step. Yeah.
Actually, that's very true. Yeah, just do it. Oh yeah, and especially find ways which are interested when starting it. That will definitely push you into doing it. So yeah, definitely something like that. That's how you overcome. Easy to say, hard to do. Yeah. But
we did convince ourselves though.
But then what?
Did those points that we made convince ourselves to do something that is so easy for us to say but we never do?
I'm trying to think if I said anything that I haven't done recently. Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, definitely. I have I have a few things that I thought in my mind which I'm gonna do. I did manage to do it in the end. It took me a few days, but then usually, I don't know. Our brain just overestimate how hard every task is. When you just do it, it's like it's so easy. Just take a few minutes. Yeah. Like even like because I've been sending messages to a few people on Instagram, not on Instagram, on LinkedIn, about getting experience from them. Yeah, it sounds hard, but you just send them. Sometimes I guess we just think a bit too much. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, any insights or things that you'd like to share about at the end of the podcast? Hopefully it doesn't end up to be 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I do have one.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, because recently, I've been reading when I was on my way to work, like when I'm commuting on
That's
the
amazing.
MRT. So that's one book. It's in Mandarin. I think the original version is also in Mandarin. So, one of the point that it made, it was like it's actually a kind of like financial advising kind of book.
Ooh,
but
that is cool.
I do like one idea that it mentioned. So you don't say that I try to do things. You say I do.
Yes.
The try word itself doesn't kind of exist because you won't do it. So now, whenever I do realize that I use it quite often, the try word. So now, whenever I'm consciously thinking about it, then I try to avoid using that word.
That is cool. Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like what could happen? Yeah, like what could happen? Literally, you fail, I guess.
So you just
fail is
decide.
fine.
Yeah. So you just decide you want to do it or you don't want to do it. Don't try.
Okay. That is cool. I really like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I buy this idea. I buy this idea a lot. Okay, cool. I should do the same. Let me try to do the same for myself. Yeah. Cool.
You just say, let me try to do this.
Oh really? I'm gonna do it. I'll just implement it in my own life. Yeah, I guess we just got a bit too used to accustomed to what we talk about. Try.
Yeah.
When we say we try to do that, we kind of allow ourselves to it doesn't work out, something like that. But if we just say that we do it, we will kind of try to. I said try again. Yeah, this one I'm conscious. But what we do is that we will put in a lot of effort into try to excel on it. So yeah. Let's just do everything that lies ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any insight from you?
I'm recently a bit lacked on insights. Maybe, I think recently I'm a bit off on insights. Not many insights to talk about. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, I haven't thought of any interesting insights that I would like to share. But yeah, I mean, I really like my life here, I guess. UK is a good place, explore, find.
We can see that.
Find ways to get out of your place. Like recently, my YouTube videos had not really targeted to students. It's more about like in exploring life, something like that. Yeah, exploring my thoughts. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to that direction. I talked about why you should definitely work overseas when you can, not just for you, but for your future generations, and then like talking about like friends and all this, and then talking yesterday talking about creativity and upcoming. I think I'm gonna talk about whether you actually get a master's degree. Yeah, so because master's degree is not just about you yourself. It's like more about the academic field and whether you can actually contribute something back to the world. Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, like this whole thing is not insights, just some sharing, I guess. But yes, I guess in this case that will be it on. Well, I mean, like, I guess it's still normal timing compared to our previous episode. Just that, like our previous podcast, just that now we try to cut it down when it's around like to below 45 minutes, below 50 minutes on there. So, well, another 2 episode podcast. Yeah, I'm thinking if we can find any way to. I don't really like the part 1, part 2 thing. Can we not that we shouldn't say part 1 or part 2. I still want the hint of it, but I'm thinking how can we write it in a better way, instead of like a traditional part 1, part 2. I dislike that description. It's very boring. But yeah, we'll think about that. We'll find some way. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, it will already use a new standard of naming system from us. So yes, I guess anything else you would like to share?
Okay, just one last thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe my friends won't be listening until this point, but I'll still like to say that thank you very much for all the help and support that you guys gave me. It really means a lot to me. It's a bit hard for me to say one by one, like face to face, one by one to you guys at the moment, because I can foresee myself couldn't like hold my tears and all. Then in the end, I'll just be crying, won't be saying anything. But really, I'm very glad that I got to know you guys, and at this point, I've met some difficulties in my life, and you guys are the one that support me and help me without the second thoughts. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really glad and thankful about it.
Okay. Oh, that's really lovely. Oh, well, definitely, if they do listen to this part, you'll still be in Malaysia, which I don't know if it's a fortunate or unfortunate case, depends on you, but you're still in Malaysia because I think it's going to come out in like 13 of August, this episode, like this part. So yes, of course, but definitely something I would like to mention, like to ourselves actually, is that well done to both of us. We've been doing this podcasting for a year consistently without stop, and then yeah, so well done. And of course, maybe there is definitely something that have changed. We improved a little bit. We have seen some opportunities and people emailing us. I don't know. It's well, definitely we didn't. Did we? Yeah, we get tiny bits of learning experience from all this kind of stuff, but it's definitely something that we will never get if we never started this podcast. So well done to us.
Yeah, true.
And yes, look forward to the future that comes. I hope that we can keep doing this, even though even probably until when we're 60 or 70, sharing about how our grandkids are annoying us, something like that. I don't know. I hope that podcast is still a thing, or even I hope that we will adapt to new form of methods, like the TikTok way of doing podcasts. I don't know, but I just think that I don't know. I can't see why we won't be doing this, because sitting down talking about stuff like at this pace, I see that we can actually do one every 2 weeks and then turn it into 2 episodes. Like, I think it's a cool thing. Like, yeah, just sharing about life, like see how it goes. Doing it for like imagine now we're just like 20 something years old, doing it for 50 years. It's gonna be amazing. Like 50 years of podcasts, and then 50 years, 52, 250 episodes, man. 250 years, 250 episodes on Spotify. So, wait, did I miscalculate anything? Wait, no, sorry. Did I? Yes, I miscalculated. I am stupid. No, it's not 250. I was like, how could that be so little? It's like 2,500 episodes. That's like crazy. I don't see why we can't do that. Just that I'm gonna have like something like a motivation quote or something that just push us. We definitely should spend like at least 2 hours each week to do this podcasting, or maybe in future 3 hours every 2 weeks to work on this podcasting. We're just gonna keep on doing it because it's a thing. It's just consistency. Of course I hope that we can easily we can get some income to cover some basics expenses from the podcast, hosting a website, maybe improving our equipment over time. Of course, we will hope to invite more guests when we are free. Hopefully when Vereen goes back to study, and when I work here, hopefully we'll have more free time. We can do all this kind of stuff in a better way. But yeah, I don't see why we can't just keep doing this for like the next 50 years. It's gonna be a cool thing. It's gonna be, and the main idea that I would really like is that being able to let our child and our grandchildren seeing this, like your grandparents just kept on doing this thing, sharing to the world, being like putting themselves out there for the past 50 years, has shown that anything is possible. You can just do anything. Putting yourself out there like is totally okay. It's totally normal to do that, and then you should probably do it. Yeah, I guess that is the main thing that I would love to bring to my future generation. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, well done to us. Well, like it's more than it's been quite some time, more than a year anniversary already. But well done to us. Looking forward to the end of 2022 when we do another review. It's a cool thing doing review every single year. Yeah, but I do think that I need to spend more time to make it a bit more structured when I list down like the things which I'm really happy about, like the podcast episode which I love a lot in this whole particular year. So yeah, I guess that's it then. So we shall really end here. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for your support. Even though now it's like quite a small audience, but I'm still very thankful. It's like sometimes it's not all this. We don't need like $1,000 in our pocket every single week from podcasts, or we don't need like people sharing on stories saying that this is the best podcast in the world. But just the growth when we realize that people are listening. Like when Vereen said that her friend is listening, listening in a car, or my friend, when I realized my friend is like following my podcast and then listening to it, it's like, yeah, thanks. Like all these simple small things that kind of feel that you guys are supporting us really makes our day. Thanks a lot for keeping us going. You know, if we really end up doing this 50 years later, 100 years later, if like the health tech, med tech industry allows, it's not about us, it's about you guys as well, because you guys pushed us to all this time along. Yeah, so thanks a lot. So do send us any comments, opinion, advice, or even compliments. I don't mind that to our inbox, email inbox, or like social media. But yes, other than that, thanks everyone for listening, and hope to see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on the Apple Podcast. If you're not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye-bye.